you say the word midwives, I think that people think of like the big pot of hot boiling water and towels, and they think of this old Southern matriarch who isn't necessarily trained, who just happened to have experienced births, just kind of sitting down with a woman and helping her pop out a baby.
The idea that midwives provide less than adequate care is just another, I guess, myth that has really been around for about 100 years once they started trying to phase midwives out of America.
The state of Alabama has a really rich midwifery history. In 1931, the state licensed over 3,500 midwives, and these midwives worked in the poorest areas of the state. And then in 1976, the state changed the law, and basically it reads that the only legally recognized midwife in the state of Alabama is the certified nurse midwife. So here you had these thousands of midwives, whose identities were defined by being midwives, who would go to get their licenses renewed and be told that they weren't needed anymore.
We have this total disrespect now towards midwives, whereas before it was kind of like, midwives were known, they were people that you regarded with reverence, and they were, these are people that brought the babies into the community that, you call in the middle of the night, and this woman that came rushing out. But I mean, now I feel like that chapter is closed and it needs to be reopened. We need to give them the respect that they're due.
There are only 10 states in the United States that expressly prohibit the practice of direct entry midwifery. And of course, we're one of those proud states. Look at these families that came from, as far north as Huntsville and as far south as Mobile, that braved that very cold and windy day to come to Montgomery to say, this is important to us, this is important to our families, this is important to our children. I want this option available for my daughter one day when she grows up.
Yes, we do.
Walk right over there.
Oh, yes, we do.
Got it?
There is a wonderful place for physicians, obstetricians in our communities to make sure that high-risk women are cared for, to make sure that emergency situations are handled properly, and I appreciate their hard work. But I also appreciate the hard work and the training and the dedication of the modern midwife.
The midwifery model of care is a lot more holistic. When I meet a mom for a prenatal visit, I'm not just interested in how much her baby's grown, what's the heart rate, what does her urine look like this week. I certainly do all those things. I do all those things that you would have done in an obstetrician's office. I check blood pressure, I monitor vitals, I weigh and check urine and check fundal height and listen to the baby and palpate the baby to see in what position it's in. But I also want to know, how's your home life going? How's your family? How are you feeling about this pregnancy? Do you feel like you have all the resources in place to take care of this baby? Are you worried about anything? How's your partner dealing with this?
Knowing that you're cared for in all aspects of your pregnancy, not just your physical being, helps you want to take better care of yourself and make sure that you're doing the right things for your baby and for your body. A midwife is patient in that she appreciates the normalcy of birth, so she allows you to birth the way your body has been designed to birth.
If I wanted to do something, she let me do it. If I wanted to get up and walk around, then I could. If I wanted to have juice to drink, then I could. If I wanted to get in a particular position, if I wanted to lean against the window, whatever I wanted to do, she let me do it.
And she respects your space. You're never separated from your family. You can have the baby in the same room, and if you want all of your children in there, you can. Or if you want them playing quietly in a different room, you can. And as soon as the baby's born, they can come in immediately and see their new baby brother or baby sister.
I ended up seeking out midwifery care for my son's birth, and they were there from the time I called them at 9 a.m. in the morning on Tuesday morning until we had the baby at 2:30 in the morning Wednesday, and they left finally about 6 or 7 a.m.
Boy or girl?
Yes, you're... Oh my goodness, beautiful.
If you approach childbirth as an illness and therefore treat it as an illness, mom is going to respond like an illness. Having a baby is a normal physiological function of the female body. Treat it accordingly.
Our training as physicians are looking at birth as more of a disease process because we're trained to learn what can go wrong. And because of that, you think of it as not as a natural process that just evolves, but something that can have problems.
If you look at these countries who have better statistics than ours, you'll find that their midwives very well integrated into their maternity care system, and the midwives provide the bulk of the care for women, the normal, low-risk women. And then the OBGYNs are there for the high-risk care, which is what they're trained for.
There's a lack of services being provided. And part of it is that, you know, the medical-based model doesn't understand the differences between medical and midwifery care. And so there are women that are just not going to settle for less. They've had their babies in other states and had their other babies at home or with a midwife in a birthing center. And so when they get here, they go, oh my goodness, where are the midwives? Then they start looking and they find that their only choices are either to hire somebody who will still help them at home or to drive out of state.
I think it's a real public health issue. There is a population of women, albeit small, who will always choose to birth out of hospital. They'll choose it for religious reasons, for financial reasons, for cultural reasons, but they're gonna choose it, and they are choosing it, and they are doing it in this state. Let's give them a legal option.